Welcome back then one more time here to the Sultan Qaboos Sports Complex in Muscat, the ITTF Challenge Plus Amman Open, the last match of the week here, the men's singles title match. Marcos Freitas, the top seed from Portugal, to take on the Indian legend Sharath Kamal ACHANTA. It's been a long old day here, a lot of fascinating matches. The women's final going to an expedite rule situation. We've had, what has it been as well, 3 7-gamers. Could we get another one here? The last match of the tournament here. Freitas, who last won on the ITTF World Tour at the Czech Open in Olomouc back in 2014 against ACHANTA, whose last international singles title. He's won continental titles, done very well at the Commonwealth Games, for instance. But his last international singles title occurring on home soil, the ITTF World Tour Indian Open back in 2010. So for both these two, this represents a huge opportunity to win an international level crown in the singles. ACHANTA pumped to see off Kirill Skachkov, the Russian, the 9th seed earlier in their semi-final, one of the 7 gamers that we had. And Freitas also needing the full 7 to come from 3-1 down to beat Harimoto Desai, ACHANTA's compatriot, in his semi-final earlier. With the day as it's been, I think it might be fitting if we go the full 7 games, go the distance, see whether that transpires or whether one of these two can win in slightly more regulation fashion. All to play for then here, as they prepare to knock up. Yeah, Freitas prior to that semi-final had been in devastating form these couple of days of competition previously in Muscat. Mudit Dani, the Indian, needed less than 18 minutes to beat him, 4-0, then beat Lubomir Pistage of Slovakia, 4-0, 21 minutes, and then that tough one earlier with Harimoto Desai, who played brilliantly, just couldn't quite finish Freitas off. ACHANTA, in addition to the 7-gamer against Skachkov, dropping a couple of games in his previous rounds. Got a good win over Bernadette, the Finn, in the quarterfinals, 4-1. Who will prevail here? Guy McCree to take you through this one. The last match of the last day of competition here at the ITTF Challenge Plus Amman Open here in Muscat. Sharath Kamal ACHANTA of India to take on the top seed Marcos Freitas of Portugal for the title. Big opportunity for both of them here, who've well, ACHANTA, of course, has reasonably recently, the ITTF rankings just over a year ago, achieved his career high rank of 30, but for Freitas this is a massive moment. He's not really been able to rekindle those heights that he set a few years ago now when he was top 10 in the world. 31 years of age now, Freitas, 26 in the world, the lefty, but he was as high as 7 in the rankings towards the end of 2015. remains extremely dangerous. His best result on the season so far at the Europe Top 16 Cup event in Montreux in Switzerland. Because that's an extremely high-level competition, continental event. We reached the quarterfinals there. Former winner of that event, FREITAS, of course, when it was the top 12. Back in 2014, just before it switched, expanded to the 16 format it's in now. ACHANTA is no stranger to winning continental titles himself. He's picked them up for fun over the years. A real legend of the sport in his home country. Father figure, if you like, for Indian table tennis. For all the younger players they've got, the likes of Gnanasekar and Desai, who we saw here earlier in the day. Two guys with considerable experience. Yeah, quickly onto that one, short angle there, FREITAS. Little push return and then able to wind up with the big forehand. That's really a copybook play of his, executed perfectly. Look for FREITAS to do here with his changes of direction and his power is to just unsettle ACHANTA, who always looks so effortless, doesn't he? Around, just back off the table, the way he glides. His movement's so good. Look to unsettle the Indian here. Make him look to go for a little bit more than he'd like. Good reverse into the backhand. Towel down here, of course, after 12 points. FREITAS holding an advantage of 2 here. Yeah, made it. That reach of FREITAS, so crucial. And he's able to stretch to his forehand side. ACHANTA responds, still trailing by 3 here. Mistimes his return there. And FREITAS now with 4 game points. Doesn't make that one, and it is the top seed, FREITAS, who wins the first game of this men's final, 11-6. So a game to the good here in this men's singles final at the ITTF Challenge Plus Oman Open. Marcos Freitas of Portugal. Game up on Sharath Kamal ACHANTA of India. Excellent use of his forehand attack there to begin this second game from Freitas. Some good overspin as well on that service, Freitas. Again, ACHANTA not able to come up with the response to it. That one catches the tape on the way out. That's ACHANTA on the board in this second game. Put simply here, I think ACHANTA tactically has got to find a way of putting a little bit of traffic away from the Freitas forehand. See a little bit more of his backhand. His backhand's a good shot, especially his flick, but I think from ACHANTA's point of view, we're seeing too much of the Portuguese player's forehand. It's a devastating shot when it's on. I'm not saying here you go exclusively, not that he can do it very easily. I think the way Freitas is performing out here, the way he's moving, but in a sense you could look to go to the forehand to get to the backhand, just look to mix it up a bit more above all. Seeing a lot of Freitas' forehand in this first game and a half. That's an interesting play. So he's gone to the forehand, but he's gone with quality. And that's given him the chance to go hard into the backhand, go into the pocket area. That's more interesting for ACHANTA as a play, I think. I mean, the problem is there. He's just got too much ground to cover. Stuck in his backhand corner. Even however well ACHANTA moves, he's not going to get across to that effectively. Lead of 2 for Freitas again here. He needs to get cheap points when he needs them as well behind the service, Freitas. And another. It's putting ACHANTA under considerable pressure. He's not getting the same kind of cheap points off his service. He's done well there. He got a heavy push return there, but he's generally not getting the same kind of cheap points. He could do with another one here. To be honest, the first forehand drive, I can remember Freitas missing where it was makeable. That lead of 4 sliced to 2. It's been good to see Freitas this week, how confident, both of them in fact, how confident they've been playing, how they've been feeling out on the match table. Freitas not really a ton of form, albeit it's been early in the season, and unfortunately the players are not going to be playing a great deal over the next few weeks either. Is that... Oh, it's been called as... it's been called edge, that. Yeah, no, queried by Freitas. Edge is legal, of course, side is not. That drive from ACHANTA catching the edge. And it's so disappointing, of course. Absolutely the right decision by the ITTF to suspend play till the end of April. But but of course at the same time it's unfortunate, but it's just the way the world is at the moment, the situation with the coronavirus. The measures that need to be taken. It's not just this wonderful sport that's affected as well. All sports across the world affected by the situation we're in. That's why I hope you've all enjoyed the coverage here this final day. So many good matches, and this one could yet become another. The last match before the break, the enforced break. Hope you're enjoying it. Oh, he finds the angle there. So short in the table, ACHANTA. Got so little room to work with when you take that on. And he's locked this up. He trailed, what was it, by 4 in this game? 7-3. He's taken 5 of the next 6 here. And now he's made that as well. That's a ripper. Freitas must have thought he got that on his forehand, that he'd win the point. What a run ACHANTA has put together here. Because he's made it tighter now, Freitas has tightened up on that forehand, I feel. That's a ball he was making for fun in the first game and a half, and now he's missed it and given ACHANTA here a couple of game points. Really impressive, this from the Indian. Trailing 7-3. And he's gone on there. What a run from ACHANTA. From 7-3 down, takes 8 of the next 9 points to level this final up. 1 game apiece. Portugal's Marcos Freitas here, the top seed in Muscat, brought back to a game apiece in this men's final by Sharath Kamal ACHANTA of India. Even by his standards, that was some recovery from ACHANTA from 7-3 down in the second, taking 8 of the next 9 points to level this final up. And what I think we've seen is, oh, first of all, terrific place and wonderful shot making from ACHANTA that then put the pressure on Freitas as a result. And then we started to see more errors on the forehand. But you've got to give ACHANTA credit for the way that he stuck around in that game in the first place and the shot making he was able to produce. And now, because Freitas isn't finishing the points as quickly on his forehand, we're seeing more of him being troubled into his backhand side, into the pocket. Just, I think they're needing to adjust something on the back of his shirt. Yeah, that backhand side of Freitas is certainly getting a lot more traffic coming into it now. Oh, it's a shame for ACHANTA. Wound up for the big drive. Misses out, and Freitas' lead back up to 2. Keep saying it, this is a big match for both these two. Very experienced, but without an international level title for a while in their respective careers. I think for Freitas in particular, he's talked about this quite a bit, trying to build his form, build his ranking back up. This is a big week, big tournament for him. And look at his form in the season. Mentioned that quarter-final in the Europe Top 16 Cup. That's a decent effort because that's a hard tournament, but first round at the Qatar Open. Rough draw there, of course, running into Wang Chuqin. That's why these sorts of weeks are so important for the confidence, to get back-to-back wins together. Still this lead of 2 for the Portuguese. Yep, and he took advantage of the tape there, didn't he? Yes. Well put away still by Freitas, kept his concentration well. Towel down again here. Intriguing period of this final. He's torched that as well. And he produced a couple of moments of real quality, ACHANTA, in the previous game. That there as well. The crowd just really embraced that sort of attacking intent. Swept it away. Freitas looking to respond in kind and can't seal the deal there. The lead consistently through this third game. Freitas locked up now, 7 apiece. Oh, terrific ball striking, isn't it? How can this guy still do this? 37 years of age. Strike the ball like that. So good to watch. Freitas responds. It's clever play from ACHANTA. You can see what he's looking to do there. He's not actually hit that ball as hard as he can. He's just looked to push Freitas back and still go right into that pocket area. And slightly higher than the pocket, into the armpit area of the Portuguese. Apologising there, ACHANTA. Oh. He's not sure about the previous ball, whether it caught the edge. He's got to accept the official's call there, FREITAS. Sure, actually, FREITAS here, I'm trying to pick up what he's saying here to the officials, whether it's about the edge or whether he feels the contact wasn't clean. Still continuing his disagreement on this. Didn't quite pick up what he was saying there. And what we do know is that ACHANTA here has got a couple of game points to take the lead in this final now. Saves the first of them well. It's a good follow-up attack, good serve and sting. Still another opportunity here for ACHANTA. Oh, but it's saved well. How about that? ACHANTA are opening up the table, but it took guts from FREITAS to take that on. So he saves both the game points, and now 2 clear point winning margin needed here. Alternating serves. Can hear the encouragement that ACHANTA's getting. We had this earlier. Big Indian contingent still here. A lot of support. He enjoyed that. And it's taken. And ACHANTA now, from a game down, has the advantage in this men's final. 2-1 up now on the top seed Marcos FREITAS here in Muscat, taking the third, 12-10. So he started so well here, Marcos FREITAS, but finding himself behind in this Oman Open final to Sharath Kamal ACHANTA now. The gesture there didn't get the cover, the spin that he wanted on it. ACHANTA came onto him a bit quickly there. He'd be delighted with how this final is going, how he's, if you like, withstood the fast start from FREITAS. He really came out of the blocks like a train. steam train start from FREITAS to this final, but ACHANTA, his composed, elegant style, problem-solving ability there at the table in evidence as this has gone on. He's made it much more uncomfortable for FREITAS as it's gone on, and deserves this lead that he's got at the moment, 2-1. Clinical kill there. That ability to get the ball moving around the table, changes of pace and spin from ACHANTA. FREITAS has got a lot to think about here at this stage. Oh, and gets to him there. A little bit of overspin on the serving. It's not. It's a foul. Foul service in ACHANTA that lead up to 3 now. Making a big push here, the Indian. Himself there, ACHANTA. FREITAS would like to be closer to the table, to be honest, for those drives. They're basically taking a foot back off the table in those broken, open, if you like, freestyle rallies. ACHANTA has enjoyed himself there so far. I also like that little push block where, forehand push block, where he's concentrating on finding the corner of the table. I know he's lost the point there, but I think it's good play for ACHANTA. Timeout called here by the Indians, with FREITAS beginning to come back into things in this fourth. ACHANTA still with the advantage off the timeout here. FREITAS in a spot of bother, to say the least. To 9 apiece then. Pressure on ACHANTA. He has the service. And he's made that. Oh, that was a tough one to take on. Pretty flat forehand for the Indian to take. See here, loading up with spin. FREITAS into the backhand. It's actually a previous point there, but you would have seen the replay on that. It was actually a very flat forehand, quite high tariff to take on to give him game point. And he's taken that. He's playing a great final here, ACHANTA, rolling back the years to some extent. Wouldn't think he was 37 years of age the way he's playing this final, using all his experience, and he's now just a game away from the title here in Muscat. 3-1 up now on Marcos FREITAS. Just a game away then. Sharath Kamal ACHANTA from the title here. What can Marcos FREITAS do about it? The top seed, 3-1 down, just as he was against ACHANTA's compatriot earlier in the semis, Amit Desai. FREITAS came back from there. He's shown he can do it. His previous rounds this week have been breezes, cakewalks. And he had to dig deep in that semi. Can he do it again here? Himself on the board here in this fifth game after the good start from FREITAS. Lead up to 3 now. Good response this from FREITAS to going 3-1 down. Just looking at how his semi-final with Desai worked. Desai actually had chances in the 5th and 6th games. Just maybe lacked a little bit of belief, I think, to finish FREITAS off, particularly where the 6th went to 13-11 in the Portuguese's favour. FREITAS was stronger in the 7th, no question about that. ACHANTA, to be fair, has a lot more experience. Sense he's going to be a tougher one to finish off here from this position. FREITAS needing all the 3 remaining games to take the title. Good play again there, finding a bit of space. FREITAS, and he's ripped away with this 5th game. Doesn't make that one, they'll towel down, but ACHANTA here, I know he came from 7-3 down to win the 2nd game to really rub out FREITAS' excellent start to this final, but I think you'd be hard-pressed to see him coming back from 9-3 down here. Probably too much. Does look like we're heading to a 6th game here. Seven game points for the Portuguese. Just the one required. That's the most one-sided game that we've had so far in this final. FREITAS taking it 11-3, and ACHANTA's lead now is cut to 3-2 in this final in Muscat. So still all to play for here in this last match of the week at the ITTF Challenge Plus Oman Open here in Muscat. Marcos FREITAS, the top seed, still trailing Sharath Kamal ACHANTA, but now by just 3 games to 2. ACHANTA still needing one more game to take the title here, the men's title, to cap off the week. Good receive point there to begin things. Yeah, he pulled it off from 3-1 down against Desai in the semi-final. I just think this is going to be a much tougher task because ACHANTA, of course, is older, much more experienced, and in these finals that matters. He's playing very well, that's one thing. Desai was playing very well, but he felt that the younger Indian lacked a little bit of belief. I mentioned earlier in those key moments in the 5th and 6th games. I don't think ACHANTA, if he gets the chance here, is going to pass that up as easily. A bit more nous and experience is king here in these situations. Timeout called by the Portuguese. So ACHANTA has made a very good start to this 6th. FREITAS has got to find a way here to make it tighter. Resuming here with a good advantage in this 6th, Sharath Kamal ACHANTA. And quickly extending it. FREITAS not immediately benefiting from the timeout. It's a dominant point from the Indian, full of heavy forehands. Down, of course, after 6 points. ACHANTA still with the lead of 2. And this is the problem for FREITAS now here. Behind, not just in the game scoreline, but also in this 6th. He's really having to play catch-up. So demanding to have to do that continuously. And he gets a little bit lucky there with the tape. ACHANTA could really only play up. And that lead back down to 2, but still the advantage with the Indian here. No, that's the first sign there. I mean, that's a forehand he's made consistently, ACHANTA. Just tensed up a bit on that, on the drive. And FREITAS takes both the points against the service. Right back into this 6th now, the Portuguese. I've seen a lot of that lately, where ACHANTA has dropped very short in the table and has allowed FREITAS to wind up the big forehand play. Enough points now for the top seed here. And another. What a run he's putting together here. Don't count this man out. 6-3 advantage ACHANTA had here. Net service called. ACHANTA responds. What a good final this has been. Still could have a bit more to come as well. ACHANTA will hope not. He'll hope he can finish it in these next few moments. That is another brilliant moment for ACHANTA, and there have been a fair few of them. Hits that backhand fairly flat. Finds the back corner of the table. 2 points from the title. And ACHANTA there. FREITAS, I think, knows he's got away with one. He had space, time on the forehand. On that drive, ACHANTA, only halfway up the net. Well, it's on his blade. Two serves to come for the Indian. Take them both, and he takes the title. No, good return, good receive from FREITAS to take it. Game point now to force a deciding 7th game here for FREITAS. He's made that. For a moment he hadn't got the cover, ACHANTA. So close there to forcing a decider. And once again here for the second time in this final, we go into a 10 points all, 2 point clear winning margin situation. Again, FREITAS will have the chance to take us into a decider. And again, it's ACHANTA who's angry with himself for missing the forehand. He had the play. Has to pull himself together here, trying to save a second game point. Gets a bit of a loose one there from FREITAS. It's a strange serve, really. It's almost a no-spin serve from ACHANTA there. Bit of a bluff serve. And now misses with his backhand, and ACHANTA, who saved 2 game points, is so close now. It's the Indian here with a first championship point. Oh, back edge of the table. Would you believe it? On championship point. I mean, he couldn't have been any closer there, ACHANTA, to the title. back edge of the table at championship point for FREITAS. No, and ACHANTA can't get over the top of that one. Naturally, the nerves, the tension, even two such experienced men out there at the table, starting to get involved here, you feel. Third game point here for FREITAS. This time, ACHANTA is rock solid in the kill. Longest individual game of the match now here. The third was 12-10 in ACHANTA's favour. FREITAS now with a fourth game point. It's the way the final day of competition has been here. The singles matches, nothing coming easily. ACHANTA finds a way through. Back of the table. In many ways, the closest FREITAS has come to forcing a seventh. Well into that rally. Game points now FREITAS has had. ACHANTA has had a championship point, of course, as well. Up the big forehand, and he goes again. Game point number 5 coming up for the Portuguese. And if we are going into this enforced break of competition, what a way to be going into it with a match of this quality. FREITAS not far away from catching the edge of the table again there, but misses out. Yeah, it's been an excellent day of competition. So many interesting, drawn-out matches show the level of competition here, because, yeah, of course, we don't have the top Chinese players here in this event. We've got so many good names, so many quality players, showing the depth in the sport right now, with the men's and women's side of things. This final is just making that point again. Quick flick, return from ACHANTA, who saved 5 game points and now again is almost there. Has the service and has a second championship point, the Indian. Can he close it this time? He has done. Sharath Kamal ACHANTA. I don't think he can quite believe it. He has won the ITTF Challenge Plus Oman Open here in Muscat. He's the champion. And boy, has he had to earn it. Of disbelief on his face. 37 years of age, the Indian legend, but he's a champion once again on the ITTF World Tour. Winner of the men's gold medal, the men's title here in Muscat. FREITAS giving it everything, the top seed. He had what was it, 5 game points there to take it all the way. If he'd taken one of those, who knows what would have happened. But as it is, ACHANTA converting his second championship point chance. The high five, the job is done. He's the victor. Go all the way to a 7th, but it felt as good as, particularly that 6th. 17-15 in the ACHANTA's favour for the 4-2 overall victory in this men's singles final over Marcos Freitas. ACHANTA, the Indian, beating Freitas, the Portuguese, to win the title here. Table tennis at an end here. We will have the award ceremony very shortly for the singles finals. The women's final, of course, a little bit earlier, and the men's final that's just completed. Do stay with us for that.